April 14, 1912. A silent and dark night in the Atlantic Ocean. No moon, the sea like glass. This silence was an uneasy anticipation before the greatest maritime tragedy in history. The unsinkable Titanic would hit an iceberg and take over 1,500 people with it. But this story is not just a sinking. It is an epic filled with human arrogance, mistakes, heroism, and unanswered questions. At the beginning of the 20th century, transatlantic voyages were a major field of competition. Immigrants carried their hopes to America, while millionaires turned the ocean into a feast. White Star Line wanted to challenge its competitors not with speed, but with luxury. The project started in 1908, gave birth to the Olympic class. Olympic, Britannic, and Titanic. Titanic was the largest and most magnificent of these. 14,000 workers shaped the massive hull. 200,000 people gathered to watch the ship's launch. Witnesses said they thought the ground was shaking. Its length was 269 meters, which is even longer than 3 football fields. One of its anchors weighed 15 tons. The interior was equipped with marble staircases, crystal chandeliers, and luxurious cabins. The Titanic was not just a ship, but a floating palace. And most importantly, the designers had declared the ship almost unsinkable. This statement would become the heaviest irony of fate. It departed from Southampton on April 10, 1912. It stopped at Cherbourg and Queenstown. The destination was New York. There were more than 2,200 passengers and crew on the ship. In first class, there were millionaires, aristocrats, artists. In third class, there were immigrants carrying hope to America. Titanic was actually 2 separate societies traveling on the same ship, but worlds apart. During the journey, there were multiple iceberg warnings. The Mesaba ship ahead reported seeing large ice masses. But Jack Phillips and Harold Bride in the communication room were busy delivering passengers' messages instead of informing the captain. That night, the Atlantic was extraordinarily calm. The waveless sea made it difficult for the lookouts to notice the iceberg. At 11:40, the lookout bell rang. Iceberg. Only 37 seconds later, the giant steel hull collided by scraping against the iceberg. The ship was designed to not sink if 4 compartments took on water, but the collision breached 5 compartments at once. 400 tons of water were entering per minute. Today, we know that steel became brittle at low temperatures. Additionally, the iron rivets used in the forward hull snapped one by one upon contact with the iceberg. This created a gash of approximately 90 meters in the hull. The end of the Titanic was not hidden in engineering, but in the face of nature. Captain Smith ordered women and children to board the lifeboats first, but there were only 20 lifeboats on the ship. They would not be enough for more than half of the passengers. The reason was simple. Extra lifeboats would ruin the aesthetics of the decks. In the telegraph room, 25-year-old Jack Phillips sent out distress calls until the last moment. He did not leave his post until the waters rose and covered the equipment. The nearby Californian ship saw the rocket sent by the Titanic, but the captain hesitated. He wondered if these were emergency signals or not and returned to his bed. They were only 32 kilometers away, but no help came. The sinking of the Titanic was not just an engineering disaster, it was a scene of humanity. The band members played music until the very end. Even while sinking, they gave people hope by telling them to stay calm. Some parents put their children on lifeboats and stayed behind themselves. Most of the crew refused to leave the ship. The Titanic became a stage for both heroism and tragedy at the same time. At 2:20, the Titanic completely sank. The real disaster was just beginning for those who fell into the sea. The ocean was near 0 degrees. Research shows that in the first minutes, shock makes it impossible to control breathing. Muscle strength is depleted in 15 minutes and consciousness is lost in 30 minutes. Hypothermia claimed thousands of lives in icy silence. There are still debates about the sinking of the Titanic. If it had hit the iceberg directly, it might not have sunk, but the scraping cut the hull like a razor. The atmosphere on the night of the collision may have created an optical illusion that hid the iceberg. The iceberg, which broke off from Greenland, had reached that exact point after a journey of 300 days. This mass, born from snowflakes that fell thousands of years ago, determined the fate of thousands of people. In 1985, Robert Ballard found the wreck. The massive hull, split in two at a depth of 3,800 meters, was struggling with rust. Scientists say that due to rust-eating bacteria, the Titanic will completely disappear in 20 to 30 years. So one day, nothing will remain of it in the darkness of the ocean. Titanic is not just a ship, a mirror of human ambition, pride, mistakes, and hopes. For over 110 years, it still hasn't sunk, because it continues to live in our memories, lessons, and questions. Perhaps the real secret is this: the unsinkability of the Titanic is not in its steel, but in its story.